Back with another episode, man. Week 5, fantasy football. D Schwartz in the building. What's up, my guy?
Back again, Myron.
Yes, sir.
Got to win
Back
this
at
week.
it.
I actually had a good week in my leagues.
Beat
Surprising.
down. I didn't win a single league. I was 0 for 5. Disappointing week. Tough week.
You
Tough.
have those weeks. I was thinking
Dude.
though, like people out there, and I'm sorry if you're listening to this and you are 0 and 4, and that sucks.
I definitely have won. I won every league. 3-1 in my best league. So we're coming around the corner. Coming around the corner hot. But we're in the thick of things, man. Week 5 coming up, and week 4 another tough week for some fantasy owners. But there's definitely some bright spots for a lot of players that were kind of on that panic side that we talked about last week. But let's go ahead and let's go ahead and talk about some of those guys right into it. Austin Eckler, man, he must have listened. He heard us. He stepped up big this week. He made me compete for a league. I didn't win it, but he kept it close.
And he's a fantasy guy too, so he loved that. Like he needed that week for himself too.
Yeah. You saw him tweet, this offseason that fantasy managers will be happy with my production. So yes, he definitely made people happy this week. Also, Rashad Penny finally stepped up in Seattle. Did play the Detroit Lions, of course, so you gotta take that with a grain of salt.
Gotta start.
But he had a great night.
Yeah, he did. He busted those 2 late touchdown runs, I think, on third downs. Lions could not get a stop. Brutal game to watch. Geno Smith, I think he was QB2 on the week.
Rashad Penny looked
if you have DK.
Rashad looked like Barry Sanders. He was killing the Lions.
You got to be excited if you got DK or Lockett, because, Geno Smith through 4 games is just an accurate, on-time passer. He's looked good. He's throwing for 300 yards 2 weeks in a row. So it's exciting if you have either of those guys.
Yeah, especially DK Metcalf owners, because he was drafted high stock, and people were worried about Geno Smith. And like you just said, 70% completion rate almost this season. Geno's been money, and DK has been a start, wide receiver 2. And Lockett's been serviceable. Even against the Lions, he didn't find the end zone, but he finished off with like 90 or 80 some yards.
Yeah, absolutely. And then let's go to the early game. I know we had a little mix-up, Kamara, late.
I got lucky.
Sunday morning. But Justin Jefferson showed people why he's still one of the best wide receivers in fantasy. In the league.
Yeah, I said top 2 wide receivers, top 3 wide receivers.
I think 3, because I think you got to throw Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Jefferson. Devontae Adams still producing.
I was gonna say Devontae is not like that list you just talked about.
I hear you though.
But yeah, like you said, Justin Jefferson's the real deal, man. He's spectacular, and it's so weird to me that the Vikings offense struggles so much. You got him, you got Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen. It's just, man, Kirk Cousins got to be
Kirk problem.
Kirk's got to be a little better, but you love what you got from Justin Jefferson this week. And like I said, Alvin Kamara, what a shock though. Fantasy owners just wake up in the morning at 9 a.m. and you got your lineup set, and AK out of nowhere is just not playing, rib injury.
West Coast, it's 6:30 a.m. kickoff. So that was locked into your lineup. He's expected to play.
That was one of the most shocking late scratches I've seen in years, to be honest, in fantasy football. That was pretty. Yeah. He practiced all week. Came out of nowhere.
And Michael Thomas wasn't playing. Jameis wasn't playing. Why not just say Elvin's not playing? Something happened. Saturday night.
Something happened.
Re-aggravated it, or I don't know.
Hey, but shout out Latavius Murray, steps in, fills up the role, and we're going to talk about him a little bit later. He's had an interesting weekend. But how about Darnell Mooney, Chicago Bears? What a little bright spot in a very tough season. But
they still don't look good. I don't know if you're starting any Bears right now.
No, he's definitely grounded for another game or so.
Not with confidence.
He's definitely on thin ice, but you definitely got to like a little bit what you saw from the Bears offense. Khalil Herbert looked great again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Herbert is he's the real deal. So if Montgomery doesn't play, Herbert's a RB2 easily, maybe RB1.
Let's talk about this tough week for tight ends, man. I know it was a tough week for a lot of owners.
Kyle Pitts is killing me.
Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts had a tough week. George Kittle had a bad week. what is going on in the tight end world in fantasy right now. I mean, it is just so hard. If you don't have Travis Kelce, honestly, everyone else is a risk.
Yeah. Shout out Hawkinson. He had to step up. This was a nuts on the line game. 3 of your best players are out. You're the target, and he produced. Shout out to everyone that started him. He won a lot of people fantasy leagues.
Yeah, TJ went crazy. TJ went crazy. I want to talk about, like I said, some of these duds though, man. Kyle Pitts, George Kittle's, Mark Andrews. What's the fear here with this tight end position?
I mean, because you drafted him so high, you're still trotting him out. Darren Waller, you're still trotting him out there every week.
Yeah.
Hoping they produce, hoping they score. Where guys like Will Disley and Gerald Everett,
David Njoku,
people are producing. Mo Alley Cox had a massive game this week. The tight end position has never been more, a mystery.
Yeah, I mean, you have no idea week to week what's a good start unless his name is Kelce. Also, man, the number 3 running back in the league, James Robinson, finally slowed down this week. That Jaguars offense been looking good all season. Kind of weird to say.
A lot of rain. I think, they get a Houston matchup this week, so offense could get back on track. But if you have ETN on your bench, you drafted him high. He outsnapped James Robinson this week. Could be maybe a little change in the guards. It was a weird game. They had Lawrence had 4 fumbles. They got up early, and then Eagles kind of stepped on their throat and ran the ball.
I got to talk about the talk of the week, man. Miami, your boy Jalen Waddle had a tough game, and that's a player you got to circle, right? Like where does his wide receiver production go due to, like you just said, the incident with Tua?
Yeah, Tyreek and Waddle are still starts, but you definitely, we'll see how they produce now with a new quarterback. You can't really start the running backs. I don't know if Mostert or Edmonds. You're starting either one. Yeah. Mostert's going to get the receiving work, and then Edmonds they bring in on the goal line and like to see if they can find him in the end zone.
Yeah, I could see them maybe splitting a little bit more carries there, maybe taking the ball a little bit out of Teddy's hands, but I bet they're going to fling it still. I have a feeling Teddy's going to find a receiver to depend on, though. You just got to hope that Jalen Waddle is that guy that he leans on the most. But it's probably going to be Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. You got to get the ball in that guy's hand. That's rule number 1. Just let him do his thing. Same with we saw Monday night, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
Ball in playmakers' hands, good things happen.
Let's make the game easy. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a quarterback change. You see Kenny Pickett come in for Mitch Trubisky. And
he gave him a little bit of a spark.
Gave him a little juice for a little bit, a couple rushing touchdowns, and then the interceptions came, trying to sling them back in. I want to talk about the receivers there, though. Do you see any signs of hope for those guys you drafted in Deontay Johnson? Pat Freiermuth is probably drafted by a lot of people. He seems to be, honestly, the most consistent player this season for the Steelers because even Najee Harris struggled.
He's been a security blanket for Mitch. We got a small sample size, so we'll see how Pickett, actually has his first full week as a starter, practicing with the ones. But you like what you saw out of him and George Pickens. If you got Pickens stashed away in the bench or Dynasty League, he looked pretty good with Pickett. He's a big receiver. Get him the ball. Deontay Johnson, you got to think he's going to be fine. And then they got to learn how to run the ball because Najee's doing nothing for you right now.
Yeah, that O-line's got to figure it out so Najee can get going for sure. Back-to-back bad weeks for the Rashad Bateman over in Baltimore there. Start off the season hot, looking like Lamar Jackson's favorite target. Back-to-back weeks he struggled, only 3 fantasy points each week. Is that kind of something you're concerned about, or when you took a guy like Rashad Bateman, you knew week to week it's going to be straight boom or bust?
No, I'm a little concerned just because, it's been tough to trust the Ravens receiver for a while. Even Hollywood Brown was a little hard to trust at times just because of his boom and bust. You trust Mark Andrews and then you trust the running attack.
Yeah.
But receivers, after those 2 past weeks from Bateman, Duvernay's really producing more right now. You're not really looking to start them unless you have to.
And it's getting real tough, like you said, in that receiver spot. Lamar Jackson is going to be the play. And but you don't really know which receiver is going to be the one to pop off in that Baltimore Ravens offense. And the last 2 weeks has really been nobody. Duvernay hasn't had a gigantic week besides the kick return touchdown. So I'm a little concerned about the receiving core there. And man, the Kansas City Chiefs receivers. I can't believe the Chiefs are playing so good offensively, but you can't really trust either receiver there. It looks like the Travis Kelce and Clyde Edwards-Helaire show.
Yeah, Edwards-Helaire is not really getting it down on the ground, but what he's been able to do through the air and find the end zone. Mahomes has been showing why he's the $500 million man, right? Like him and Kelce have been awesome together. We'll see if the offense can keep up. I mean, Juju or Valdez-Scantling, like one of those guys you got to think is going to separate themselves. Cole Hardman, someone has to, right? Take that next step.
And it's crazy because most leagues have all three of those guys rostered. Everyone's just holding on to one of the guys. Like, is it going to be me? Am I going to be the one that gets the lucky draw? I thought it was going to for sure be Juju coming into the season. Then I thought it'd be McCole because him and Patrick have the most years behind each other. Yeah. But far.
Now it was looking like MVS. He had a drop, which we've seen. Like, he's always been boomer bust, especially back in.
And if he can stay healthy.
He can catch bombs, though. He's that downfield playmaker, but so is Hardman. So maybe that's why it's tough to, kind of pick your spots, who you're going to go to. I don't know. But staying in that division, you called it last week. Josh Jacobs, like the only true, really bell cow right now in this league. I mean, you got Saquon, you got Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, maybe a couple other guys, but Josh Jacobs got 28 carries. He was getting the receiving work, 2 touchdowns. He won people a lot of leagues too.
I was gonna say I'll give you Derrick Henry, and of course you got C-Mac over in Carolina. But yeah, I mean even Jonathan Taylor has Nyheim Hines behind him. Big Baby Jacobs showed up this week. Fantastic game. Finally, all the carries that he's been getting paid off, and he's starting to be a threat in the receiving end. And I'm starting to like that a lot for the half PPR leagues. He's getting involved that way. He's looking like a legitimate running back too finally. So it was really good to see him turn up. And like you talked about, Saquon Barkley, man, just how consistent has he been as a pure running back one? A lot of guys wrote him off for sure coming into the season.
Yeah, he's healthy.
He looks great again.
Mm-hmm. It's good to see the Penn State Saquon for sure.
Your boy Jamal Williams, Detroit Lions, had a fantastic week. And at this point, he's becoming a pretty consistent play.
Oh, yeah. Him and, honestly, Goff. Goff's been really solid. You got to hope he's getting Chark and St. Brown back for this week's bout against the Patriots. But Lions offense is best in the league, scoring the most points. Defense allowing the most points. Just classic Detroit Lions.
They said they've allowed the most points through 4 games in NFL history.
They've also, their points combined with their points they've let up is the most through 4 games as well.
That's the most Detroit Lion thing of all time. And before we move into some more thank you cards for the week, I want to talk
one more stat. I'm sorry. They have 18 touchdowns, and so do like the Bears, the Giants, and one other team, all with better records than the Lions. So like 18 combined touchdowns between those teams, better records than the Lions offense.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's the Lions. They're finding a way to lose a game for you. That's one thing.
I'm sorry, Myron. Go ahead.
Third. No, I want to give a shout out to one of the biggest, I think, receiver acquisitions this offseason. We had a lot of focus on Devontae Adams. Had a ton of focus on Tyreek Hill. I mean, Hollywood Brown in Arizona has been producing for Kyler Murray in the Arizona offense. Honestly, one of the sole bright spots in that offense so far this season. 17 targets. I mean, this guy, he's proven to be a legitimate wide receiver in this league, I think, and I'm excited to see what him and D-Hop can do side by side lined up.
Yeah, I was going to say we got D-Hop coming back in 3 weeks now, week 7, so we'll see how that affects Hollywood Brown's production. Zach Ertz, too, has been really good for Cardinals and fantasy owners. Connor's been a little bit of a struggle, a bit of a dud so far through four weeks.
Yeah, he's been tough, but some guys that won you some fantasy leagues last week, probably single-handedly that you just did not expect it from. We talked about Mo Alley Cox, T.J. Hockenson, Jared Goff has been absolutely amazing. I mean, he's probably a free agent in the majority of fantasy leagues still. It's weird, but you could start him over Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers at this point. Like Jared Goff's rolling, and it's weird to say, but it's a fact. And your boy Miles Sanders had a great game last week.
He went off. I mean, finally got 100 yards, was getting in the end zone. If Boston Scott was out, if Boston Scott stays out and just him and Gainwell in the backfield, Sanders is going to do a lot.
Yeah, it looks promising for sure. Once Boston Scott comes back, it gets a little crowded back there. But yeah, Miles Sanders was absolutely amazing. Some big time injuries though last week. Of course, we know about the Tua injury. But man, Javonte Williams done for the season. Denver Broncos. That's huge.
Yeah, that's a tough loss, and it's not like Melvin Gordon's been great this season, putting the ball on the floor. So I know we're going to talk about waivers in a second, but look again, Mike Boone and a guy you mentioned just a little bit ago, Latavius.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jonathan Taylor, your guy, got rolled up this weekend. He's getting some X-rays back. Hopefully that does not come back as bad as it looked.
It's tough. Short week. Thursday night game.
Thursday night. Couldn't miss it.
Yeah, in Denver too, altitude. You don't think he's playing, but if he is, yeah, start him.
And another big running back lost this week, ATL, Cordero Patterson. He's headed to the IR as well. He's out for several weeks, extended. And then Jamison Crowder and that high-powered Buffalo offense. And that kind of frees up some space for a crowded wide receiver corps.
Yeah, Isaiah McKenzie, Gabe Davis definitely get a boost because of that. Just strictly by him taking, routes from him. He's catching a few balls. So Cordero Patterson going down is tough because I don't know if you're really starting either of those Atlanta running backs between Algier and
Caleb Huntley.
Yeah. Man, I don't know if you can start him, but you definitely got to go pick him up if you're thin on running backs.
Yeah, and right on that waiver wire pickup with all these injuries, there's a bunch of roles to be filled. Like you said, Atlanta, you got Caleb Huntley, you got the rookie Algier. But, man, in Denver, like I said, what a week for Latavius Murray. He played Sunday for the Saints. He was on the practice squad Sunday morning. Once they found out AK wasn't playing, they brought him up from the practice squad. He played in London. After the game, got sent back to the practice squad because they activated AK back to the roster. And then, as soon as he got to the practice squad, if Denver finds out Javonte Williams is done for the season, they go ahead and sign Latavius Murray right away. Come on over. We got a game on Thursday, by the way.
Yeah, because we know you're ready. That's strictly what it was. They're probably looking around, seeing who they can pick up, and who better than a savvy vet that's been around the league for maybe a decade like Latavius Murray.
Yeah, so there's definitely a waiver wire target that not many people have rostered, as he wasn't even on an active roster 2 weeks ago. So he's someone that's on everyone's waiver wire to look at. You got Mike Boone, who's in Denver already. You talked about Melvin Gordon fumbling the ball a lot. Hasn't been amazing. So they're definitely looking for some other options. And then, of course, you got Teddy Bridgewater. Everyone needs a quarterback in fantasy. So Teddy's stepping into a prime role with some weapons.
Yeah, and he's got some of the best weapons in the NFL. So that always helps.
And the Jags defense. We can't forget about the Jags defense. It sounds weird to say in football.
So
they got
schedule
3
too
defense
is good.
in football. And they have an amazing schedule coming up.
I'm putting a bid on them in my league, and I might put like $7 or $8 on them just because I want to get them.
I just put $30 on mine.
Well, how much do you have? 200?
200.
Yeah, we got 100. So 30. No one's spending that much on a defense.
I got 200. I'm putting 30 on. I need this defense.
So they're scoring. They're getting sacks. Like, yeah.
And like you said, a very promising schedule. And they're only rostering 8% of standard leagues right now. So they're gonna go through the roof after this podcast episode goes off.
Yeah. Hopefully, you're dropping it tomorrow, so waivers will be processed and we'll already have them.
Yeah, there you go. We got an upcoming week, man. Got a good week of football. Thursday night, you got the Colts at Denver. Like we said, quick turnaround for that Denver running back core. Not sure what you're going to do there. And Russell Wilson finally had a good game. You hope he can repeat that at home. You got to start Cortland Sutton this week. And that's really the person I'm like. Jerry Jeudy's shown flashes, but not enough for you to consistently, confidently start him. We've got no buys this week. I don't know if you can start Jeudy confidently.
Yeah, I'm with you. A lot of people questionable, so we'll see who plays in this game. I'm so sick of watching the Broncos on prime time. It's been tough through the first 4 weeks.
Awful.
But hopefully hopefully Jonathan Taylor can play. We can actually get a good Thursday night game.
Yeah, and if not, I think Nyheim Hines is a must start.
Absolutely.
If Taylor doesn't go, you're going to see a lot of Hines, and Matt Ryan will dump it off a lot to him. I think he can have a good PPR game. The receivers, you got to start Michael Pittman from what you drafted him on. Had an awful week last week, but you just got to hope he bounced back. I mean, you put too much stock in him to bench him right now.
Yeah, and I don't think you're starting Mo Cox yet.
Nah.
Week.
If it happens again, you just have to. Yeah, I mean, you get pick up
a lottery ticket. He's a lottery ticket.
Yeah, but I'm not sure you're right. I don't know if you can start him over, that tight end that's upsetting you like a Mike Gesicki or Darren Waller. Actually, I'd probably start him over Gesicki.
I'd start him over Gesicki. Gesicki's out.
Yeah,
he's so dropped.
Like a Darren Waller who's probably getting you a little bothered. I think you still got to start Waller over.
Also, now that we say that, Teddy's gonna feed Gesicki. 100%. He's gonna have like 10 targets and 8 catches.
1 p.m. slate. Got the Lions. Got the Patriots. This is gonna be.
You're skipping London, mate.
I am skipping London. We got another London game. Got A-Rod and the Giants. I cannot. Something about A-Rod playing in London this year of all years is just funny.
It's weird.
It's just weird.
It's weird. This game is just weird. It's gonna be like 17-20.
It's
got a weird feeling game. We're gonna see a lot of Saquon.
It's gonna be a good running back.
Really
good. It's gonna be a good running.
Really good. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers keeps rolling. The offense does not look great at all this year. They're a little healthy now. Romeo Doubs and Alan Lazard looking like pretty solid receivers, and Randall Cobb.
Yeah, he loves the boy.
Yeah,
he loves Randall Cobb. That's the homie. But like you said, I think it's going to be a good dose of Saquon, Aaron Jones, and A.J. Dillon. Even though Dillon came off another tough week, you still got to start him. But I think this week, something about that London game, I feel like this is going to be low scoring and a bunch of running. I mean, neither offense has been exciting to see.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Now we get to the 1 p.m. game. The Lions at the New England Patriots. It's going to be an interesting game. You got the highest scoring offense, and the Patriots are a team known to try to have a good defense. But if you got Brian Hoyer suiting back up, I think the Lions could have this one. And
I think it might be Bailey Zappi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because Hoyer got hurt last week as well.
I think we might get a Bailey Zappi. I'm starting my Patriots running back. Just because of the quarterback situation. Yes, both. Both Patriots running back. Just because of the quarterback situation. I don't know if you trust starting a receiver. On the Lions side, you're starting your guys. So
yeah,
no doubt about that there.
Yeah, whoever's healthy as far as the receivers go, I think is a start. Reynolds is a tough one, Even he does show up huge, and St. Brown's not there, but I'm just not sure you can start Reynolds right now. I think again, if DJ Chark doesn't play and St. Brown doesn't play, I think Reynolds is a viable option. You gotta love Hockenson this week. Both running backs for the Lions are a go. But like you say, I'm not touching the Patriot receiver. But what's his quarterback's name again?
Bailey Zappi.
If Bailey Zappi has a day against the Detroit Lions like Matt Flynn, I'll be so upset.
He might look like Tom Brady. We'll see.
Chargers and the Browns. Here's a tight end I love. Gerald Everett's been having a very good season over there in LA. This is a game where you love everybody for the Chargers here. You like Austin Eckler, you like Keenan Allen, you like Mike Will. Joshua Palmer's a possible, maybe not if Keenan Allen's back though.
Yeah, it gets tough to start like Palmer and DeAndre Carter, even a little bit Jared Everett if Keenan Allen's back, but in such a thin position, you're fine starting Jared Everett at this point. Yeah,
for the Browns, you love the running backs, and
Cooper's been tough. Could be a good matchup for him. Chargers defense is not great. They almost let the Houston Texans get back in the game last week, but you're not really trusting any Browns receivers right now.
Texans at the Jags. This is a game that it should be a bad game, but I think this could be the game of the week. This could be a great game.
Could be exciting. I mean, it's a divisional matchup. I think it'll be low scoring. I think it'll be a lot of defense. Dameon Pierce looked really good. You're starting him. Cooks has been, not trustworthy either. So other than Dameon Pierce, I'm not really feeling good about starting any other Texans.
No, and for the Jags, I'm liking the Jags here. I'm loving Christian Kirk to rebound this week. James Robinson should rebound this week and find the end zone again. And Travis Etienne, he has to have a good week this week, right? Like this is the week that you would hope that both running backs figure out a good system together. So I think you start Travis Etienne with that risk that he has a fire week for you.
Yes, sir. Now let's move on to the Falcons going to Tampa to see the Bucs. Falcons offense, what are you thinking? Because
Falcons offense is scaring me. Like you said, you just lose Patterson, the biggest playmaker they had offensively. You love what you got out of Drake London right now. He's honestly been the most consistent target they have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trusting the running backs yet. That's the offense that I'd rather see how their running back duty plays out. I don't know if I'm starting either of the two.
So losing a guy like Patterson, does Pitts finally come alive? Is this the time, the moment that they finally get Pitts involved in the offense?
You have to think this is a great Kyle Pitts game. Like, I'm talking 8 to 10 receptions, at least targets. He has to get this game because Patterson was that guy doing a lot of the short, quick passes for you. Kyle Pitts is talked about, proven to be high athletic tight end / receiver / do it all offensively. I think this is the week you got to see that, especially against a Bucs defense that's not been the greatest.
Not the Bucs defense that won the Super Bowl for sure.
Not even close to, no. But for the Bucs, I'm starting Chris Godwin finally with confidence. He's back looking good. 10 targets last week in his first week back, so I'm loving what I'm getting from Godwin. You got Mike Evans again. Running backs, what's up? What happened to Forte Lenny?
Go pick up Rachaad White. Didn't mention him in the waiver wire segment, but he's definitely a pickup. I mean, Fournette, they're using him a lot, so I think they just want to try to decrease that volume.
Yeah.
He's clearly going to a 2 running back league. So Fournette's still the RB1. He's a fantasy guy, but Rachaad White is potentially one play away from being a must-have fantasy running back.
How's your Tom Brady pick this week? Does he keep it up?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff going on with Tom right now. The divorce lawyers and everything. I prefer to keep that private, that's family stuff. Let's not, just berate Tom with all these questions and publicity. He just wants to focus on the Falcons, all right? So please direct all Tom Brady divorce questions to myself.
I think you have a great week with all that being said. He's locked in, zoned into football right now. I can see Tom taking out some anger on the Atlanta Falcons, the division rival. Steelers and the Bills, man, this could get nasty quick, I hate to say.
14-point underdogs are the Steelers, so they'll cover. They'll probably make it a close game just because that's what Mike Tomlin does, but Steelers have looked bad. I know Minka got hurt. I'm not sure if he came back or what's his status right now. Bills offense, you're starting Stephon Diggs. Devin Singletary, you got to like what you've seen out of him, right?
You got to like what you see. But this is a weird game. The Steelers are known as a rush, stopping the run. However, they haven't stopped the run previously great. And they're still on TJ Watt. I think you can start Singletary. And I'm even going Isaiah McKenzie as well. I think he could be a good start this week with Crowder being down for sure.
Yeah, I do like that. And the Steelers offense, the Bills are really good at defense.
You got to start Najee Harris. But
yeah, you got to start him, but you got to feel just brutal about it if you are.
Yeah. And you're starting Pat Freiermuth with the same space.
Same position. Yeah. You're starting Deontay Johnson just because he's better than probably some of the other options you have.
But it's a tough week for Kenny Pickett to have his first full week prepping for the Buffalo Bills. That's
in
tough.
Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to the NFL, kid. Here you are. Mm-hmm. Meet Von Miller.
They talk about thrown in the fire. This is actually getting thrown in the fire.
Whew. Dolphins are at the Jets. This is a game of the backup quarterbacks. I got my money on my boy Teddy Bridgewater. I do like the receivers in this game. I got a feeling that Teddy's going to have a good game, and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are both going to be going to make some owners happy.
Yeah, on the other side, I mean, Zach Wilson didn't look bad against the Steelers. He threw a pick, caught a touchdown, more touchdowns than Kenny Galladay in their New York career. I love that stat.
So disrespectful.
And then Breece Hall, you got to like who you're seeing out of him. He's kind of taking over as their running back with Michael Carter taking a back seat.
Yeah, slowly but surely, he's kind of just outpacing them a little bit every week. Started with the receiving, and now the carries are coming along as well. the receiving corps, you didn't see what you wanted to see from Elijah Moore last week with Zach Wilson returning. Nothing fantastic out of the other two receivers. The New York Jets.
Corey Davis looked good, but
it's so hard to start Corey Davis with confidence.
I agree.
No, like I got Corey, and I don't want to start him. I might.
No.
He's had three good weeks, and he's been on my bench for every single one of them because he's a third option in the offense for sure.
Yeah.
So it's just really difficult to kind of go on that limb and start him, but he's definitely getting to that point where could be that blanket for that team. Tyler Conklin, you got to start him, I think.
Mm-hmm. You do. Just
it's a 10th position.
What else? What else you got?
Yeah, who else you gonna start? Dawson Knox.
That's perfect.
Titans. Oh no, we got the Bears at the Vikings.
Ooh, this one could get ugly.
Yeah, this could get really bad. And if I'm a Bears owner here, I'm starting the healthy running back. So if Montgomery's back, I'm gonna start him. Yeah. But I think Khalil Herbert had become a viable flex option. I'm not touching none of these receivers, none of these tight ends. Not touching them. No.
No, you can't. You like the running game, but that's really about it. On the Viking side, you don't like the running game, but you're starting Dalvin Cook, obviously. It's kind of like Najee Harris. You're starting Dalvin Cook. You just hope this is the week that he finally finds the end zone or breaks that big run. And then you like what you see out of Thielen. You're starting him, and you're starting Justin Jefferson, of course.
Of course, because, why not? Got the Titans at the Commanders, man.
We lost Traylon Burks. That we didn't mention him in the injury report. That was he went to the IR. I think he'll be out a couple weeks. So
tough to see a rookie go down, early in his career. Now all odds point to.
And Dotson went out for a couple weeks. He's not playing in this game.
Mr. Robert Woods looks to be the only option in Tennessee. Hasn't had a fantastic fantasy year that you thought he'd have going there as a sole option, but now it's really just him, So it's got to be the him and Derrick Henry show. Tight end position, you haven't seen much out of Austin Hooper at all with the Titans there. So I'm a little worried about the Titans, to be honest with you. The Commanders, that offense has been hit or miss. Curtis Samuel's been great, but I hear Brian Robinson should be suiting up this week, and that is terrifying.
He's not suiting up this week.
That is terrifying for Gibson owners.
I don't think he's suiting up this week.
Coach said he's optimistic, and that's
he got shot like a month and a half ago.
Crazy. Yeah, Coach said he's optimistic.
I know he's on the roster. Like, they have 21 days to put him on the active roster. I don't know if he's going to play this week. It's a crazy story. That's awesome for Brian Robinson. And Gibson owners got to be pretty nervous right now with Robinson coming back. They still got McKissick in the fold. Dawson's going to be out 1 or 2 weeks, so I'm starting McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, with a little bit more confidence now.
Riverboat Ron has the boys playing, and he said Brian's ready to go. That's all I'm saying. Get the Seahawks at the Saints. I'm excited for this game. I want to see if Geno – this is a test for Geno. This is going to be the test.
Yeah, good defense.
It's a really good defense on the road in New Orleans. Very tough environment. And
I hope we get a lot of points again.
We should see some Lattimore. Some Lattimore and DK should be very, very interesting to see. I'm excited for this game. Yeah,
hopefully Kamara suits up. You're starting him if he does. And you like what you're seeing out of Olave. We'll see what Thomas and Landry. Landry's not really a start, unfortunately, right now. Thomas is when he's healthy, but we don't know if he's playing that. Olave is the wide receiver 1 there.
Kamara doesn't suit up. Mark Ingram has not been good this season. They just lost Latavius Murray. He's in Denver. What's the running back option if AK doesn't suit up again?
I think you're avoiding. I mean, the Seahawks defense is not good, so you do want to start a running back against them.
Yeah.
So if Kamara doesn't suit up, I maybe take a chance with Mixon just because he's going to get the volume.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. I'm very interested to see if AK.
You started Rashad Penny this week?
You got to start with Rashad Penny. He had a very good week. Kenneth Walker did not look great. So it kind of makes me think Rashad's going to start to separate himself. Saints got a good run deep, but I think the volume is going to be there for Rashad this week. And Tyler Lockett is a possible flex play.
Yeah, Will Dissly is possibly a tight end play.
You got to play him. I mean, what else we got here? 10. I can't name 10 positive, confident tight ends.
Will Dissly?
Definitely not 12. 10 is tough.
Yeah.
8 people league, they're struggling for 8 good tight ends. Like, it is The consistency right now is very difficult. 4 p.m., man, we got the 49ers and the Panthers. This is going to be fun for the athletes, I call them. I'm not even calling these guys running backs and receivers no more. Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, they're athletes. They just get on the field, and wherever you want to put them, they play and they produce for you.
It's the old NCAA football, like
when you recruit them, ATA. Yeah,
you can play them anywhere in the field. I'm surprised some of these guys haven't come in and started playing defense.
Yeah, I mean, those two guys are going to put on a show this week. I'm not worried about the matchups for either of them. I'm a little concerned about DJ Moore and or Robbie Anderson. Man, Baker Mayfield's just not it. He's just not it.
No, Darnold's coming back, so maybe they're going to make a change.
Begging for Darnold to come back, and that's crazy to say.
Yeah, Baker's been pretty bad this year, and I'm sure Cleveland Brown fans are pretty happy.
49ers.
They're like, look, like we've been telling you guys, like this is what we've been watching.
OBJ's dad's like, I tried to tell y'all.
Finally.
I tried to tell y'all. Called me an a-hole when I did that video.
We need DJ Moore's people to step up.
49ers, Jeff Wilson had a fantastic game last week. 3 games in a row now. He's giving you legitimate running back 2 numbers. So you like that. Obviously, Deebo. Kittle, we just said tight ends aren't there. You got to start them.
And Ayuk's been like hit or miss.
Ayuk's a tough one.
It could be a good spot for him.
Yeah, this is that week you play him if you probably projected to lose, hoping he has a big game. Like, that's probably when I play. If I'm projected to win, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play Ayuk because his floor is definitely a possible 0-1-pointer.
Yeah. Yep.
Eagles and
the Eagles are so good. You got to start all your birds. This is a bird game.
Bird game, and there's not a player I don't like to start here on either side. I mean, I'm starting it all as far as the top 2 receivers on both sides. Even Dortch had a bad game last week. I don't see it happening back-to-back weeks. I mean, Kyler's been struggling, but I think he makes exciting plays too much for Dortch not to get involved. I'm worried about James Conner in that backfield. They went away from him this season, and they struggled. So I'm not sure if they realized that yet, or is it just the fantasy owners realizing that Connor's not been involved and you're not winning games?
Yeah, I think it could change, but this is a good Eagles defense. Darius Slay got hurt, so it could open up the passing game for Hollywood Brown. 4:00 game in Arizona just feels like points. I don't know why. It just feels like this is going to be a good game with no points. Yeah, on the Eagles side, you're starting Sanders, you're starting A.J. Brown. Dallas Goedert's been a good, consistent tight end. One guy we haven't mentioned. You're probably starting Devontae Smith, but he's been hit or miss. He dropped a touchdown last week in the rain. You're starting him because, wide receiver is thinner, I think, than a lot of people thought this year.
Yeah, I thought there'd be a lot more middle-tier wide receivers that were playable. There's a lot less of them. A lot on the higher-end side, but that middle-tier side is not as deep as I thought it would be. You got the Cowboys at the Rams. Man, what an interesting backfield we got here for the Rams. Neither really has stepped up after both have been so tremendous previously.
It's not a week to start them.
Yeah, it's been weird.
Oh, man, it's been tough because Akers was supposed to be the guy. You drafted him early thinking he's going to be, this running back in a high-powered offense. And the Rams offense has been Matthew Stafford to Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
It might be racist.
I mean, people are asking. Allen Robinson can't catch a pass.
You gotta look over. You gotta look that way, dude. Come on. Cowboys.
We need Van Jefferson back.
We do, man. Cowboys. I like what I saw out of Michael Gallup in his return. CD Lamb, quiet as kept, having a good season. I mean, you can hate on the guy. He's having a good season. Cooper Rush has been finding a way to give him the ball. Tony Pollard and Zeke. This is gonna be a tough week. I think it's gonna be a tough week to start. The Rams aren't like the best defense right now, but I feel like
they still got those playmakers.
And after a bad loss, they usually come in the next game pissed off and rolling. I think it could be a tough day for the running backs and Cooper Rush. He might find himself on the ground a lot.
I do agree with that. We got 2 hopefully good primetime games though.
Finally.
Sunday Night Football. Bengals going to see the Ravens.
Divisional play, baby.
A little AFC North matchup. Gotta love it.
And
Gotta love it.
we're starting the receivers and the running backs here in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, I love it all. T. Higgins. I'm even starting Tyler Boyd. Nothing about the Ravens defense is really scaring me from taking any of those receivers this week. But for the Ravens side, you gotta love what you saw from J.K. Dobbins last week. He looks like he's back, finding his footing. Yeah,
hopefully he really takes control of that backfield. I saw Gus Edwards is coming back though. So that's just, another mouth to feed in an already crowded backfield. But Dobbins is going to be the guy to get the goal line work, which is really what you're looking for.
Yeah, Mark Andrews, primetime football. You could expect him to rebound. Might have one of those nights. Yeah,
you gotta hope.
And then we get more divisional play for the Monday night game. We get the Raiders and the Chiefs, man. If the Raiders are going to show that they're a real football team, they got off the snide last week and finally got a win. But this is the week to show that all the offseason press was actually worth it.
In Arrowhead,
this is what you got Devontae Adams for. I think he's going to have a big game. You got to see Darren Waller step up this week. I think you're starting those guys with confidence. Same with Josh Jacobs. But man, on that Chiefs receiving core, I am terrified on this Monday night game. It's tough.
It's a bad Vegas pass D. So we're thinking Mahomes is going to be good and throw a lot of passes, get a lot of yards. You're starting Juju probably. I don't know other than that who you're starting besides Kelsey and Clyde.
Yeah, Clyde's going to have a good game. I can feel it. And Travis's bad games are good games.
Yeah. No, Travis Kelsey he's honestly worth a first-round pick every single year.
And that's true. I hate taking a tight end in the first round, but
it's terrible.
He's worth it.
Yeah,
he's worth it. And we gotta talk about the facts of the matter, guys. Is that week 1 survival? We let him slide on the Alvin Kamara hiccup and switch to Deebo Samuel's late, but that did not help. I won 115-77. My boys came to play. Austin Eckler, Rashad Penny, Mike Evans. I said Mike Evans was going to come back pissed off, and he did. 2 touchdowns. It's a tough week for you, D.
Yeah, not great. The Kyle Pitts pick really kind of screwed me. If I take Hawkinson, for example, which was definitely an option, I could have won this week. It's okay. Not the best week. Lost a few guys that I would have liked to have later in the season, especially Mahomes and Saquon. But that's all right. I mean, I'm still here. It's early. We got week 2 coming up, Myron. So what would you like? You want first pick or you want second?
You go first pick. Losers go first. We'll losers first.
All right. If we're coming to me, and I'm going to go first, I'm going to take a quarterback. And it's tough, but I'm just going to go with what you did last week and take Jalen Hurts. I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game. I like the Eagles offense. I used Mahomes last week. Let's go Jalen Hurts this week.
And you can't have 2 bad weeks, because he didn't give me the greatest week that I wanted, so
no.
So that's a fair pick by you. I like that. I'm going to go with that guy in Buffalo. We just talked about a wounded Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I think Josh Allen has a chance to have a fantastic game. I'm going to go stick with the quarterback position. I'll go and take Josh Allen out of Buffalo.
I like that. I do like that. That's a good pick. So I thought you were going to go running back. I'm actually surprised he's still on the board. He had a 100-yard week last week. Juicy matchup this week. I'm getting the king. I'm going Derrick Henry.
Oh, my God. I knew that was coming. That was coming.
Yep.
Got the Washington Commanders. Like you said, definitely a favorable matchup, to say the least.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So this is a risky one here. I'm gonna go wide receiver though. I'm not gonna mess with the running backs right now, and I'm gonna go with Monday Night Football, Devontae Adams.
Oh, okay.
This is what they got you for. This is why you came out here to have a big game in prime time against Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs and your divisional rival. We need it.
I like that. That is a good pick. I'm also going to go receiver. I was thinking a couple different ways here. I thought about going with the Falcons, Drake London. I do like the Lions. If St. Brown is back. And this is going to hurt me because it might turn out pretty shitty. It's a Thursday night game. But
Thursday nights are risky.
I really like what I've seen out of Cortland Sutton. I think he's been really good. And with Javonte out, they got to get him the ball more. So I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton.
Y'all, he's going to regret this pick. I guarantee it. This was going to hurt. This was going to hurt next week. We'll talk about that later. Cortland Sutton. Oh, man, that's tough. All righty. Running back position. I think this game, like I said, is going to be full of highlights. And while I think he got some better matchups later in the season, I think he's going to show up big time this week. I like Christian McCaffrey against San Francisco. I think he's going to put on the show.
You might regret that pick. I don't know. We saw a good 49ers defense on Monday night. We already talked about Baker's struggles. I love McCaffrey. He's the best player in fantasy when he's healthy and getting the ball. So if he can just get you his, average night, that's 20 points.
Yeah. That's all we need.
All right. I'm going to I think, and this is tough.
Take the gamble.
I'm going to go. I already got the Thursday night game. And
please go.
There's another receiver that I really like in the Sunday night game. A lot of press is on the other guy because he's not producing as much as he was last year because T. Higgins has been so good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with my guy T. Higgins.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jamar Chase. I was like really going against the grain. I like that. T. Higgins is a good one. Oh, man. All righty. I'm going to go with I'm going to go ahead and go down this tight end road here.
Yeah, you're going to get him before I do.
This tight end road that's just so dangerous. And now I think I might surprise you a little bit with this pick. I'm going to go to what you did last week. And I'm going to go ahead and trust my man Kyle Pitts.
Wow. We talked about it, no Patterson. So if there's ever a time to get Kyle Pitts involved, it's this week.
It's the first week. It's the first week before you got a time to plan for it. This has to be the week. So I'm going Kyle Pitts.
I like that. I do. I'm going to, for my tight end, I'm going to finish off the stack. And I'm going to take Dallas Goedert. I'm not getting anyone, crazy this week. I got Hurts and Derrick Henry, but some other guys, I'm just hoping for some good, solid floors. If they can find the end zone, I think I'll get a dub this week.
And I'm going to stick with my main rule in fantasy football. You got the Detroit Lions. You play your players.
But
I'm going to go with the running back room.
Which one are you picking?
And I'm going to go with the big fella, Ramondre Stevenson, because he's going to fall in the end zone.
Okay.
I'm going with Ramondre.
But I don't know. They love Damian Harris. He's got a nose for the end zone.
I just need Ramondre to fall in there one time. That's all we need. Just tip right in the end zone.
Yeah, they're even upside. So I do like Ramondre. But both, like we said, both running backs are a start this week.
We'll see who brings home the 2-0 record. Probably me. Or the Schwartz finally found a way to get a win like the Las Vegas Raiders. But before we get out of here, man, shout out to Deebo Samuel with those cleats of the week. The Dior and Air Jordan collab cleats. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean.
That's crazy.
We know the guys that are going to put on a show, especially when they're playing in prime time. Stephon Diggs being one of the guys we mentioned a lot in this segment. But Deebo really showing out this week. I saw a lot of Jordans this week. Just looking at the D-line, a lot of Jordans on defense. Jordan 1. Love seeing the cleats.
Love the cleats. The cleats are someone commented on Twitter like, we don't watch the game for the cleats. And I'm like, we watch for the cleats, man.
We're looking at the cleats.
We're looking at the cleats.